Hey there. Good morning. Um, yeah, I'm ready to start the live stream, and it's always interesting when you do some things for the first time. So we have changed our format, so I appear on the screen these days instead of just the stock charts. Well, good morning, and I would say that the U.S. futures are looking pretty good. They surged yesterday, with Nasdaq hitting a record close, led by Broadcom and S&P 500 inching higher, as investor bet on upcoming Fed rate cuts. However, today's bullish price action seems to mask a host of fundamental risk, contradictory signals that set up a volatile and unpredictable trading landscape as treacherous September unfolds. September has always been a tricky month, and this one promises to be same. Now, there are contradictions which are driving volatility. For example, credit warning signs like subprime and auto loan and student loan delinquencies are quietly surging. The end of federal relief has triggered a wave of credit score drops. Nearly 2 million auto loan borrowers saw their scores plummet after student loans reactivated, and new delinquencies are spilling over into other types of debt. Monthly credit payment obligations are up, squeezing household budgets and foreshadowing defaults across consumer loans. Now, if you look at the job market, there is weakness out there for sure. Last week's job report showed weak non-farm payroll growth and rising unemployment. And today's small business optimism is up, but the labor quality concerns still persist, pointing to an economy struggling to maintain forward momentum. On the other hand, I have been trying to follow XLR and XLP. XLP's resilient signal is really confusing. While these cracks form under the surface, the XLP Consumer Staples ETF keeps trending higher and higher. This reflects institutional allocations to defensive stocks, suggesting risk-on psychology among large investors, even as fundamentals continue to erode. And another telling aspect is the gold price. Gold is surging to a record above 3,500 per ounce, up 30% this year alone, as investors chase safety amidst doubt about the dollar, persistent Fed criticism, and a nearly 90% market implied chance of September rate cut, as well as many banks, world central banks, shifting from US treasuries to gold, has led to this situation. Now, the US Treasury faces a $9 trillion debt maturity wall in 2025, forcing heavy reliance on short-term debt to refinance long bonds. That seems to be happening under the surface. This is the Treasury itself using short-term T-bills to raise funds to extinguish long-term bonds. This precarious situation raises risks as government financing becomes more sensitive to auction results, a potential source of unseen yield spikes or surprise cash crunches. Tariffs remain in flux post-appeals court. Industrial exemptions begin today, but legal uncertainty and domestic supply chain distortions continue to persist. Manufacturing is contracted for a 6-month and import costs are climbing, while tariffs are now averaging 15% to 17%, up sharply from the 2% to 2.5% that we had seen prior to the tariffs. Economic data and trends for this week include PPI or Producer Price Index, which will offer the latest read on US input price inflation and how much of the tariffs the importers continue to eat. And Thursday's CPI or Consumer Price Index will set the tone for Fed rate cut odds and broader market sentiments. Jobless claims and Michigan sentiment round out the week, with eyes peeled for new cracks in labor and consumer health. So this is the overall roundup so far in this month. And in this backdrop, let us go and have a look at the price charts and see if we can find anything that can help us do something with this market and make a little bit of money, or at least in my case, save a little bit of loss. Let's go there. So here we are in the TradingView platform, and I'm looking at the S&P 500 futures. This is all a 1-minute chart that we are seeing out here. And I would like to start off by observing that I have drawn a new line of resistance out here, connecting the peaks of the activities that have happened since 13th of August to date. And we can see that today we are out here. Let me just recalibrate the chart so that it looks clean. So this is the candle we have today. And we have a long wick on the top and a small body forming at the bottom. Is it going to be some kind of inverse hammer at the end of the day? I don't know. But at this point of time, all I can say is that we have support at around 6,498 and we have resistance at around, let me pull this down a little bit so that I can see, it's around 6,543. That's the resistance. And overall market sentiment is bearish. MACD is also bearish. Momentum is flat, but above average. So anything can happen today. And if you look at NASDAQ has got a similar formation, a longer wick on the top. It's like an inverted hammer. And we have support at 23,758. And we would have resistance, I would say, somewhere around 24,011. That's going to be the first resistance, and the second resistance could be at 24,061. So this is what we are looking for in NASDAQ future. Dollar index is improving a little bit. It got a support at around 97.29 and it bounced up. We'll have to see how long this lasts. There is going to be volatility with the dollar. And we have a bearish MACD. We have momentum below average. Market sentiment, which was bullish, is now tapering off and moving towards being bearish. So this transition period is going to be determined by the economic data that comes up at any geopolitical issues that might come up. And all the yields are starting to go up. The long-term yields are going up, despite the fact that Treasury is buying long-term yields and long-term bonds and extinguishing them using short-term Treasury bills. But the point out there is that the amount of purchases that are being made by the Treasury doesn't even constitute a drop in the bucket, looking at the size of the long-term bonds. So that is problem brewing, and it's going to come up anytime now. So it's better to be careful. But as they say, markets can remain irrational longer than we can remain solvent. So that's something that I'm trying to remember. I'm also looking at the Canadian bond because I have Canadian real estate investments. And I'm also a real estate broker out here. So what happens with the market makes a difference. And I have seen a little bit of inquiries coming up for purchases and leases. So the market is starting to move a little bit, which seems, which is a little bit of a positive encouragement for me. So I think that we are looking at probably a bear flag forming and then further movement downwards because we have a target of around 2.67. Now, how this will help is that the mortgages which are coming up for renewal, they were all taken at around 1.5, 1.75, or at the most 1.99%. And right now, the best renewal rates that are available are around 3.99%. So if the Canadian 5-year bond goes down further, there's a buffer of around 1 to 1.15% on top of the Canadian 5-year bonds at which the renewal take place. So if it goes all the way down to somewhere around 2.69, then we can see a mortgage renewal rate of around 3.7 or 3.8%. That's a little bit more attractive. And more people will qualify for mortgages, and there'll be a little bit of demand jumping up in the real estate sector, which is really suffering very badly. Now, that said, let's move on to the stocks. We have the indicators, S&P 500. We have a wide range out here. So I'm going to draw a new line of resistance to indicate that we would have some kind of, let me see. Okay, this is the best I can do out here. So we would have a resistance somewhere in the range of 6,537.43, and we'll have a support today at 6,441.75. Overall market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is flat, but it's above average. Pre-market, I think we saw, if you look at the pre-market session for S&P 500, we saw that it was up very mildly at 0.07. So that is not too much to go by. So the market could open up negative in that case, the support becomes more important. And if the market moves positive, then in that case, the resistance becomes more important. That's the way I would look at it. I can't predict what's going to happen. If you look at NASDAQ is also trading in a very slim margin. It had started up much lower, went up, and then it came down. So this is how the action ended for yesterday. And despite all the positives that we saw, the trading action was very narrow. The body is very narrow. So today we are going to look at some kind of a movement out here. If you go to the futures for guidance, you will see that it's a very nominal 0.87%, 0.18% positive. So that's not much to go by. So I would say that probably we'll open positive, but we'll have a support which is going to be at 23,766, and we might end up having a resistance which would operate somewhere in the range of 23,906. It could be a very narrow trading range today because market sentiment is bearish. MACD is just about become bullish. Momentum is above average, but I would say that the momentum is still flat. Now, VIX is also up 0.60%. This adds to the bearishness overall. So VIX being up. And if you look at put call ratio, it still continues to be slightly bullish. Yesterday, it was in the 70s, and then it gave up. But I think today we are going to see a little bit of bullishness out there. I don't know how it will manifest itself during the day. Yesterday also we saw the same situation. It was more bullish than today. And then things didn't work out very well. And we had a very narrow body out here. So I don't know what's going to happen with put call ratio. But gold is definitely giving us a very clear message that the market does not trust what's happening with the bonds and what's happening with the fundamentals. Gold is getting stronger by the day, and it's moving towards our target of 3,896. So I'm thinking that gold is a place where most people are trying to find refuge. Market sentiment is bullish, MACD is bullish, momentum is pretty high. RSI is very close to the ceiling where we had reached in the past, and it's approaching 83.72. Right now it's at 79.59. So I would venture to say that there's a little more room for gold to go up today and potentially consolidate during the end of the day, maybe go all the way up to 3,657. That's what I would expect for gold. Now, let us go on to XLP, which I spoke about earlier. XLP, which happens to be consumer staples. One would expect that when the economy gets bad, consumer staples should go up. But something different is happening out here. Consumer staples continues to go up. And if you look at XLY, which is consumer discretionary, it's keeping on going up. Now, I don't know how to explain this because jobs are going away. And we are finding that students' credit rating is going to go bad with the new rules and the high student loan delinquency. Subprime auto loans are higher than prime auto loans. And then you have got the credit card delinquencies. All of these put together and the tariffs, which are going to cause inflation. I'm thinking that XLY going up, I think it's a misnomer. I don't know why this is happening, guys. Any of you online watching this video, put in the comment section what you think. At the end of the day, we are a retail investor channel and we are trying to pull our intelligence to game the market. So your feedback will help me as well as the entire ShareTreck community which watches these videos. So with that said, I would like to go and have a look at AI, and let's look at the biggest one. NVDA, it's up 0.42 modestly. But if you look at this here, we had a head and shoulder pattern and we are coming downwards, and we have a support out here. And this support is happening to be at 166.01. Pre-market, we are at 169.03. So I would say that for today, our support is 166.01. And our resistance is going to be 173.73. Overall, market sentiment is bearish and momentum is also very weak compared to where it was in the past for NVIDIA. We are below average in the momentum, plenty of room on the RSI. And we also have a bearish MACD. So overall, the sentiment doesn't look great for NVIDIA. Meta is also up 0.50%, but we have seen a steady downturn. And if I was to draw a line connecting the tops out here, then you would see that we have a line of support. We broke past that resistance for Meta and we have moved up. But could this be a topping tail? I don't know. We'll have to watch today's market action to see if we are able to go past the peak out here. If we are able to go past the peak, I would say that it's not a topping tail and we'll probably form a bull channel. But if that doesn't happen, then I would say that this is probably a topping tail marking a trend reversal, and we would have support at 737.45. Now, market sentiment is bearish, MACD is also bearish, momentum is above average but flat. Google is up 0.15%, and we had a topping tail yesterday. We'll have to see how things work out today. So all these topping tails also give us an idea that there's a possibility that a trend reversal might happen today. It might have taken place yesterday, and it would get confirmed today if we continue to move downwards and are not able to scale the peak of these candles. Support for Google will be at 226.94. Amazon is up 0.07%. And yesterday we had a doji candle, which was a sign of indecision. And today we are up 0.07%. Can we probably go beyond the resistance of 237.65? I don't know, but we'll have to watch for that. And if you go and look back in the past, we had a reverse head and shoulder for which we had a target of 258.46. Is it possible that we are moving towards that? I don't know for sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Apple is down 0.20%. And could this be a trend reversal that we are seeing out here? We are opening in the negative, and we have support at around 222.61. And more immediately, I would say that we have a support at this level out here, which marks the support for the candle that we see out here on the 3rd of September, and the resistance for 13th, 14th, and 15th of August. So this is a pretty good line of resistance that we can say, or a line of support we can say. So support is going to be at 234.18 today for Apple. Microsoft is up 0.41%, but yesterday also it was up and it came down. And today we have a support at 498.08. Pre-market we are at 500.24. 500 is a psychological level. If we break down below that, then I can see us going downwards towards the support of 481.10. And market sentiment is bearish. MACD is also bearish. Momentum is below average. Tesla is up 0.32%. The whole world is talking about Optimus Prime and robotics and all that. But I have seen more robotics from Boston Robotics than from Tesla. And I have seen more AI from the likes of OpenAI, Gemini, and Perplexity, and all those other guys who have gone leaps and bounds. And XAI is not Tesla's. XAI belongs to Elon Musk. So I still believe there's a whole lot of fanboy club for Tesla. And I don't believe what I'm seeing out here. There is no reason for Tesla to be so strong, given the fact that BYD is eating their lunch. And Tesla has not come up with any great models of late. The same old criticism still remains. I'm a Tesla bear. I'm also hurting on TSLQ, but I'm holding on out there. Guys, I'd like to have your feedback. Put it in the comment section. What is it that you have seen about robotics? If you talk about the auto driving or self-driving, I don't think we have full self-driving. If you look at robo-taxis, I think that Google is doing way better with robo-taxis than Tesla has ever done. Maybe they are collecting a whole lot of data or whatever, but I think operating with cameras and those kind of things, maybe you can scale up faster than Waymo. But I'm not seeing much positive out there. There are no positive news reports either. So I'm still bearish. I want to hear from you guys why you think Tesla is continuing to go up. Yesterday it started very high and then it dropped. Today also it is starting higher, and I'm expecting it to drop and do a gap fill out here. That's the Tesla bear in me speaking. Oracle is up 1.20% in pre-market trades. Support is going to be at 226.96, and resistance, in my opinion, will be at 249.25. or $250, which is a round figure. AMD is up 0.07%. It is marching towards our potential target for the double dip, which is 143.95, and that also happens to be a support. And we still need to complete this gap fill out here. So I'm thinking we're going to come down further for AMD today. SMCI is up 0.42%. It has been up, but it has been consolidating out here and coming back at the end of the day, gravitating towards $39 or $40. That's the range for SMCI. Broadcom is up 1.15%. The euphoria of the big order and the big customer is starting to give up. And yesterday we saw a candle which showed that the buyer enthusiasm was not matched and the sellers were able to prevail. And that's why you have a long wick on the top and the body is narrow and short. So today I'm expecting that we are going to move towards this gap fill. But market sentiment is bullish, MACD is bullish, and momentum is above average with room on the RSI. And we look at Palantir. Now, Palantir is up 0.66%. It has been consolidating a lot, but I would say that that's a bear flag consolidation. Market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, but improving. And momentum is below average, but picking up. So are we going to see this as an accumulation and then a spike coming to move up? For that spike to move up, if you are looking at it from a Wyckoff pattern, that's what I'm trying to learn of late. It could show an accumulation, and then there has to be a drop before a pickup comes. So I'm not seeing that drop. So I don't know if this is just a bull flag extending and then it's going to break out downwards, or it's a kind of a distribution where accumulation is taking place leading to a spike, and then it would be a consolidation and then a drop. I don't know, but I still believe that it's a bear flag. I would like to hear from you guys. What do you think about it? SMH was having a head and shoulder pattern. Now I'm going to discard this because we are very close to going above the second shoulder. Also, we are above the first shoulder as well. So I'm going to junk all of these markings on the chart, and I'll just put one line out here to show that we have a support at this level, and this level of support is going to be somewhere around $282. And for today, I would peg the resistance somewhere around 300.55 for SMH. Tempus AI, I believe, is going to continue going up. It had a flag which had a breakout on the upside. I think we are gone above where we were before, and the flagpole has been taken care of. So we're going to move further up. And if I was to look at some kind of a flagpole out here, I would say that this was the flagpole that we were looking at, and we have started to break out. And let me do the pennant out here. It was more of a pennant than a flagpole. Than a bull flag. So I'm just going to take this pennant out. So this is the pennant from which we broke out. So I would just pick this up and put it out here. And I would say that we are moving towards a target of 95.40 on Tempus AI. Guys, don't buy anything because I am saying so. These are all personal opinions, not financial advice. But the market sentiment for Tempus is bullish, MACD is bullish, momentum is above average, plenty of room on the RSI. So I think Tempus may go up further. Am I going to put money into it? No, I'm sitting on cash. I'm sitting on a little bit of shorts. Yesterday, I took off some of the shorts. I removed SMCI, in which I was making some money. I had SMCZ, which is the shorts. I have liquidated that. I've also liquidated a few other stocks. I don't remember which they are. But they were a bit of longs as well, which are not doing that well. One of them was Wipro. It was down $10 or something. I thought I don't want to take any more risk. I just took out that. It was a small investment. So I generated a small amount of cash, and I'm sitting on that right now. I couldn't bring myself to sell my FNGD. So that's the story for me. And then let's go on to look at Genomics. And in Genomics, I think my main interest is going to be in Precision. I've already sold Precision, and I made a video on Precision recently. They've done non-dilutive financing, and they've got some fundamental rules from the lender in terms of market targets and other things. That's the reason why I got out of it, and I'm watching it closely. And today also it's down 0.72%. So obviously, the financing terms is not agreeable to the shareholders. So I'll continue watching Precision to keep on coming down. Now, I think it's going to have a support at around 3.44. That's going to be the first level of support. Let me just draw the line out here. So when it comes to 3.64, I'm going to be looking at all the news reports and everything. I'll make another video out here, and then I'll decide whether I want to start dollar cost averaging into it or not. Because the therapy is pretty good, the market is pretty solid, the patients are suffering a lot, they need surgery, and who doesn't want to avoid surgery, especially on the throat. So precision is likely to go up. The other positives are that the same medicine could be used for other indications with relation to HPV. So I'm looking at this stock for the long term, but right now I don't have any holdings. The other one I want to look at is RARE, R-A-R-E. It's a slam dunk, in my opinion, for RARE to get the FDA approval. They just need to fix some observations that have happened during the inspection of their manufacturing facility. And they have been manufacturing and selling therapies before, so I don't think they have any dearth in that area. They have the necessary qualifications, so they will be able to do it. And what I'm looking at here is a minor bullish pennant to break out on the upside. So I'm thinking that today the breakout might be happening. Let me just draw this pennant, and I would say put it this way and go back and pick it up and take it this way. And then I would say that my bull flag is out here. This is a flagpole for the pennant. And if we break out today, then I would say that we could go all the way up to $35.14. I have I have Ultragenics in my portfolio. I made 2 videos on this before when I brought it to your attention. And of course, again, these are all my personal opinions, not financial advice, but this is what I'm looking at. Market sentiment is bullish, MACD is bullish, momentum is above average, but both the MACD and the momentum areas are a little bit weaker right now than they had been before. But today we are getting a new boost of energy with a gain of 1.81 in the pre-market. And if it persists, I'm thinking that we are likely to move up further. Now, let's go to the other big stocks that we follow, CRISPR Therapeutics. CRISPR had a head and shoulder pattern, which gave us a target of around 40.81. And right now, what I'm seeing is the bear flag got canceled. So I'm going to remove this target, and I'm going to say that our head and shoulder pattern is probably not going to work out. We are going to have support today at 53.19. Pre-market, we are up 0.33%. And if we manage to close above this red flag today, I would say that that's a very big positive. And we would have a resistance on the top. This regression channel shows that we have a resistance at around 58.12. Let us see where we go. Overall market sentiment is continuing to be bearish, but it's improving slightly. MACD was bearish, but it's already on top of the signal line, ready to cross over to the bullish side. And momentum is just at below average. And once it crosses the average level, then I think I'll be very positive for CRISPR Therapeutics. Next stock to look at is Illumina. And Illumina has a Illumina has a head and shoulder pattern. We should take it downwards. And it is struggling against this diagonal line of resistance. And if it manages to break out above this, then I would say that we'll have a resistance at 103.42. But if it doesn't break out above this, then I would say that the support is at 93.27 for today. Market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, but trying to move on top of the signal line to become positive. And momentum is above average. So anything can happen in that department out there. The other stock I would like to look at is Vertex. Vertex is looking pretty decent out here. It's not gone down too much. And we have a pre-market action of 0.06 negative. That's not too much. So I'm thinking that probably today is the day when this bull flag might probably break out on the upside. This is a minor bull flag that I see out here. We also have a previous target which wants to take us to 424.28. Vertex is a pretty good company. The bearish sentiment has also come to extinguish. MACD is also bullish, though it's tending towards the signal line. Momentum requires a little bit of mending, but I'm hoping that Vertex would either consolidate or move up today. Ginkgo Bioworks is the other stock I'm looking at. I sold Ginkgo Bioworks yesterday. I incurred a loss in that, but I thought I don't want to take the risk anymore. Pre-market, it's up 0.09%. It's not much. So I'm thinking that instead of being a bull flag, this is going to end up being a bear channel. We'll watch what happens. Now, I want to talk about Prime as well. Prime broke out of this bull flag out here. And today, we want to see it close above this diagonal line of resistance and confirm that as a support. Right now, I'm going to convert it into a support. So it has to close above this. And once it closes above 3.98, I would say that it is positively on a way up, and then we can start plotting the target, which is going to be humongous. Now, what else do we have out here that we were looking at in the past? What else is there? Lilly. So I have Eli Lilly shares with me, and I'm just going to pull this regression channel to the current date. So we have to break past the center point of this regression channel. Pre-market, we are up 0.24%. Eli Lilly is a pretty good company. Market sentiment has changed from bearish to bullish. MACD is also bullish, and momentum is above average. So I'm looking at Eli Lilly starting to pick up, and market sentiments become bad. Healthcare sector, as well as consumer staples and those kind of things, and utilities starts improving. It doesn't mean that they will go up. It means that they are less prone to lose value as compared to other sectors, which can lose heavily in a bad market. So Lilly is looking pretty decent at this point of time. So friends, that kind of brings me to a roundup of our genomics section today. And let us go and have a look at cryptos for a change. I would like to go to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has moved above this support out here. Now I see this as a bull flag, which has broken out on the upside. So let us see if I can pull out the flagpole out here. So this is my flagpole, and then we broke out up here. So I think we are going to go all the way up to 115.206. And right now we are up 0.62%. So I think 115 is our next stop. And I think resistance continues to be at 120,177.12. Overall, I think Bitcoin has got targets from a lot of industry observers in the range of around 150 to 200,000 by end of the year. So looking at it right now, it's a mixed picture, but the very short term, I think we are looking at 115. The bearish sentiment is also mending. MACD has become bullish and moving away from the signal line. Momentum has popped up from below average to above average. It's moving in the right direction. Now, if you look at Ethereum, Ethereum has already met our previous target. I'm going to remove this. And then it has started coming down. So at this point of time, sentiment is bearish for Ethereum. MACD is also bearish. Momentum is above average, but still flat. Today, we are up 1.27%. So I'm thinking that personally, I don't have any opinion on where Ethereum is going to go. I don't know. I don't get any clues out here. But if I was to take a line from here and join the bottoms, and then I would say that for today, we would have a support at around 4,281. And I would say for today, a resistance at 4,467 for Ethereum. The other one I want to look at is XRP. So we have got XRP USD. I have some XRP also, and XRP is continuing to move up, 3 green candles today. And what I want to do is to check something out here. I want to connect all the peaks out here, and we can see that we have moved out. And if you look at this, this is a bullish pennant, and we have broken out on the upside. So I'm going to take this flagpole out here, and I'm going to pick it up from here and place it out here. Of course, what I'm doing is a bit premature. We have a target of around 4.61, and this is a bit premature because what we want to see ideally is us closing above this diagonal line of resistance and us closing above 3.02 today. If we do that, then definitely we are looking at a huge gain for XRP. And XRP is not just a crypto, it's also going to be used by central banks for money transfer. So that could take out the duration that is taking for wire transfers, and a whole bunch of economies come into play. So XRP is not only a crypto coin, but it's got use cases which are pretty strong. So that's what I would say. And friends, this kind of brings me to an end of today's session. If you guys want me to talk about anything else, I would like to pick it up right now, or else I'm ready to wind up the session, go have my breakfast, and get ready to do some trading if possible. So I'll wait for a few seconds, and if you don't have anything to ask, well, then I would just stop the live stream. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. I'm going to wind down this live stream. I'll catch up with you again in the next video.